Hello everyone, Tim here, and this one we're doing a RAD 9. If you're wondering what that is, you probably shouldn't be because there's been a lot of RAD 9 videos already. I'm on the later side of this. Shame on me. But yeah, the RAD Pack has put out a really cool community challenge about your RAD 9, the 9 movies from your childhood that were just on repeat over and over and over. They shaped you as a kid. What are those movies? And I had a very hard time putting this list together. Incredibly hard time because my brain is kind of Swiss cheese for early childhood. So only certain things kind of stuck with me. Even stuff that, like, my mom says I loved the Ninja Turtles movie, and it didn't stick with me like I thought. I remember liking the Ninja Turtles cartoon quite a bit, but I rewatched the movie recently, and I don't know, that nostalgia didn't hit me like, oh man, I've loved this forever. So yeah, these are the ones that have stuck with me in some way. I've got two honorable mentions, and then I've got my RAD 9. I will say a lot of what you see in this is going to be family-oriented movies, at least a good chunk, because, I mean, I was a kid. This is a lot of the stuff I watched. I didn't grow up with horror. Horror wasn't in the household. So horror didn't really define me as a kid at all. I almost put Army of Darkness in here because Army of Darkness is what turned me on to horror, even though it's a comedy movie, but it led me to Evil Deads and so forth and so on. But I was already like 12, 13, maybe ballpark. I didn't watch that stuff at 5, 6, 7, 8 like y'all. So a lot of kids and some action and whatnot. But honorable mention wise, Matilda. Matilda really stuck with me, always has. This is such a great movie. We saw it on Broadway even. It was great as a Broadway show. And The Parent Trap. I'm like the same age as Lindsay Lohan. Like, I think she is the same age, or it's really damn close. Definitely, I had a crush on her, so, I mean, it was perfect time period for me. I know people prefer the original, and a lot of times the originals are better, but the remake was my childhood, so this is the one that sticks with me, and I love this one. I absolutely love it. It's really crummy of the parents to split up twins. That's really crummy, but that aside, I love this movie. It's so freaking good. Now for the actual 9, and this is not in any order at all. I could not rank these at all. I mean, I guess you could say I can rank this as number 1. You knew this would be in my list. Do I need to say anything more, really? I gush about Jurassic Park constantly. I mean, I don't know what more I can elaborate on Jurassic Park. Childhood classic, but it's just one that stuck with me and is my all-time favorite movie. So, I mean, duh? So, one of the 9 isn't easy, but some of these might shock you, like Transformers. I loved the cartoon. Loved it. And, of course, loved the movie. It was more of the same, but gut-wrenchingly sad for a kid. Optimus. But, yes, great movie. Badass VHS here. But, yeah, this one's great. Transformers needs more love. I would love to see another animated Transformers. I gotta see Rise of the Beast, because that actually looks like it's pretty good, and I was a big Beast Wars fan. Loved Beast Wars. So I do want to see that, but I would love to see another animated Transformers actually come to theaters. That would be freaking awesome. My childhood theater memories are few and far between for a lot of the most part. Like I said, my memory is Swiss cheese for a lot of earlier years. But one memory I do have is we had a dollar theater 25, 30 minutes away, something like that. And my grandpa several times took me there, and one that always stuck in my mind was in the second run when I was in the Dollar Theater. He took me to see Men in Black. I love. I don't care, like, Will Smith controversy and all that stuff. It has not in any way even kind of touched what I think about Men in Black. I love this movie. It's so good. So freaking good. And Vincent D'Onofrio is a fantastic villain. This movie is so magical and wondrous for a kid. You got all these aliens and, like a secret police force that polices the aliens and stuff. It's a blast. It's science fiction with action, with comedy. What is there to not like about Men in Black? And honestly, the trilogy is really freaking good. 2 gets a lot of shit because it's not as good as 1, but I still think it's a really good sequel. And 3 has some really, like, heart-touching moments in it, and I thought it was a great completion of a trilogy. And International does not exist. But as a trilogy, this is a really good trilogy. So yes, Men in Black sticks with me. Absolutely love it. As a kid growing up, there was Disney Channel and there was Nickelodeon. Those two, oh my gosh. It could be my childhood speaking, but 90s Nickelodeon and Disney together, whew, so good. So one that only came to Blu-ray, what was it, like a year and a half, 2 years ago? I mean, it's relatively new to Blu-ray, and it holds up well, guys. I love Good Burger. I loved all that. I loved Nickelodeon in general. These characters transitioned great from TV to movie to an incredibly entertaining movie. Good Burger is so fun, so quotable. Oh my goodness. They're making Good Burger 2. High hopes. But yes, the original, I watched it so many times. And I was so happy to pop this Blu-ray in and still have an absolute blast. Holds up so freaking well. First and only R-rated movie on my list. Like I said, a lot of family and all that stuff on here because that's what I was watching a lot of times as a kid. But Die Hard. This is in my top 3 all-time favorite. I love Die Hard, and this was a staple. I've watched Die Hard many times, saw it as a kid. I wasn't really allowed to watch, like, nudity in movies and stuff like that, but, like, an action movie that, I mean, it was pretty tame, too. Yeah, I was allowed to watch this stuff, and I was allowed to watch Die Hard, and Die Hard is freaking awesome. This is, like, the best action movie of all time. This movie shaped not just my love of action, but it shaped action movies to follow it. So, yes, Die Hard, while I only have one R-rated movie on here, it is such a worthy one. What kind of crazy sociopath will talk about Die Hard and then pull Pokemon? Pokemon, I fell into that zeitgeist of that time period. Pokemon was huge when I was a kid. I loved the trading card game. Oh my gosh. So I was suspended from school. This was my first I was suspended several times, but my very first time, it was a suspension that my mom didn't really agree with, and she actually took me out. Like, we got food and bought me, like, my first packs of Pokemon cards at the time. I loved the Game Boy game, of course, trading Pokemon back and forth between, like, Red and Blue. Oh my gosh, but the first movie, man, I was so hyped for this movie, and it delivered. It was freaking great. So yes, Pokemon still stuck with me. I still love Pokemon. 36-year-old man still loves Pokemon. Oh well. Next one up is one I watched quite a bit. This is probably one of my most rewatched movies, like, of all time. Ferris Bueller. This is my favorite John Hughes, and it's just such a freaking awesome movie. I relate to the character in certain ways, not his suaveness, but there's certain aspects of him I relate to, and I love this movie. freaking love it, and I've watched it so many times. So, yeah, this is a big one of my childhood. We've got 2 left, and another one. So, a lot of kids. Taz was a big part of a lot of kids. Taz was a big character, but I was part of those lot of kids with Taz stuff. I had Taz shirts. Taz was by far my favorite Looney Tunes character. By far. And I adored Space Jam. Freaking loved it. I loved Looney Tunes. I loved Space Jam. And you know what? I still love Space Jam. I could still pop this in and smile and have a blast. Oh my gosh, this movie is so freaking good. I did not watch the new one. The trailers look terrible. But this one holds such a special place in my heart. So yeah, welcome to the Space Jam. It's your chance to do your dance at the Space Jam. Yeah, I love this one. Final movie of my RAD 9. I literally just rewatched this tonight. I needed a rewatch, but man, coming home from school, I would be so freaking excited for Power Rangers. Oh my god. I mean, how many kids didn't love Power Rangers? Like, look at this. I've got a whole bunch of, like, Power Rangers collectibles. I freaking loved the Power Rangers. I mean, they're superheroes, but they're cooler. But yeah, rewatched the original 95 movie that, oh my god, as a kid, like, oh my god, the Power Rangers, they're on the big screen. Bigger budget, horrible CGI on this. But as an adult watching it, the CGI was horrible. As a kid, I was so into this movie. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, Power Rangers, easy choice. What's funny is I just got the Blu-ray of it. I had this DVD in the collection for a while, but I upgraded to the Blu-ray because I was about ready to pop this in, and I'm like, shit, there's a Blu-ray. I gotta grab that. So I grabbed it, I watched it, had a fun time, had some laughs at the terrible CGI, but had a great time. Yeah, big staple of my childhood, but that's it. That's my RAD 9. Tried to keep this kind of on the shorter side. What a challenge. RAD Pack, all 3 of you, kudos on the challenge. I love it. I love community challenges. They're so much fun. If I wasn't just so busy for a short bit, I would have got this sucker out like immediately. But it was me being busy and then you guys having such a hard freaking challenge, guys. This was so hard to narrow down. My goodness. So, yeah. I'm so happy to participate. I've loved watching everybody so far. They have all been awesome. That's all I have, though, guys. Do that whole like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, head over to that RAD Pack channel and like and subscribe and all of that because those 3 are awesome people. But, yeah, I'll see you in the next one.